Welcome, 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 everyone, to another Akashic Broadcast. We are going to be having an opportunity for a meditation, teaching in combination. In the previous broadcasts, you heard me give a whole bunch of different descriptions, different styles, and different ways for you to begin empowering yourself. Over the next hour, I'm going to be continuing this process, taking a bigger scale of belief, bigger scale of understanding, and a bigger scale into your spiritual journeying. So just breathe and relax. More and more people are coming into the broadcast. We are setting up a sacred frequency, broadcast from this tool right now, to the center of the lapis lazuli here, the agate and the crystals, is a field of protection that is extending to the infinite energies of all expressions. Relax your heart, relax your mind, and relax your spirit. Allow them all into a cognitive, functionary format. Breathe deeply. Be a connoisseur of every breath. Taste it with your scent and tongue. Be a part of it with your body expression, allowing the fullness of the lungs expression. Be in your body in this moment in fraud time now, so you can make an I am choice to make it a no time moment in fraud time. You are entitled to do this since the day of your birth as a little tiny fetus that started as a heart. Breathe, relax, let go of the surroundings, let go of the yearnings of great ascension for the world. Let go of the humanitarian and altruistic concepts that keep you in the now. Yes, even those you must disentangle from at times, because if you do not, you discover they create hooks and anchors into you. They are the prosperity of good, but there are times that we become obsessed with the prosperity of good, and we find ourselves in lack. Lack of heart, lack of spirit, lack of mind, and then lack of quality time. To give yourself this no-time moment of now is a choice. I break all contracts, vows, and agreements with time itself. In this moment that I speak this breath, echo those words in your own reality. I break all contracts with time and all perceptions of time. That's the first easing of the tension of the rubber band that's stretched around you, constricting your ability to perceive. I open my heart to the no-time field as I came into a fetus in my mother's womb. I break all contracts, vows, and agreement with the debt energy exchanging system. I only exchange energy with beings who return things to equal balance at all times of the expression. I do not hold the debt of others so they can do their own great work. I do not let others to hold my spiritual debt while I do my great work. Look inside yourself. How many out there are allowing others to hold your spiritual debt while you do your great work? If you acknowledge and see them, give them love and ask for them to return your debt as creation, inspiration, and dreams, so you're not overwhelmed by the rapid change of the weight of energy. So many believe that energy is not tangible. It is tangible. It does have weight that crushes the spirit with pressure. Release this pressure that gets on you, the heart that has no arms or legs. It's just there going pump, pumping, 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 pumping. Always is what the heart is doing. Take that cranial pump, that heart pump, and say, in this moment of now, I choose to engage my sovereign rights as a natural born being of this earth. The brain descends into the heart. The heart and the mind become one. One for a purpose of explaining each perspective. The brain's left and right side perspective, and the heart's yin and yang perspective. Pump and pull, pump and pull. Those are every much a part of your living spiritual experience, as is the person who's cut off your road, who cut you off in the car, the bank teller down the street, or the person you lay in bed with. They all share that. And now it's time for you to understand your shared reality rules, what responsibilities you have in your physical realm, so you can begin your spiritual journey, so you can begin your processes of healing the inner self, understanding the exterior self, and the multidimensional self. For each is a self that is a part of this I am experience, a gradient scale of knowingness in which we seamlessly go into side or side, up or down, based off of what is needed in the no-time moments in fraud time. That is the way our spirits are functioning right now. So I'd like for all of you to focus your power, focus your wisdom, focus your intelligence while you are listening to this. Focus it for a specific reason. I do not agree to time. I do not agree to Roman numeral time. I am now creating my own time. In previous broadcasts, I've talked about you recording your own voice so that you can do all of these to yourself in your own voice. And this is one of those continuing moments where you will have to take the next step. I will be your guide into some of the words and the styles, but it'll be you that creates the actual word, punctuation, and etc. that goes to creating the poetical release of time itself. Take a deep, deep breath. All the way into your body, all the way into your mind, all the way into your lungs. Let it build up. Let this energy come deeper into you, through your eyes, through your crown, through your ears, in through your mouth, through the sensation of the fingers and toes. The very dermis that is on your body is an antenna to bring this deeper connection that is feeding you with the infinite spirit that's around you. You are a mighty being of the now. And to be in the now means you have learned the responsibilities of before these moments, of what it took to make this moment sacred. For those of you who have had this on your calendar, on April the 4th, there will be another conversation, one that takes us much deeper into the spiritual journeying. So for those of you already in this broadcast and the previous broadcast, I've spoken about the spiritual journeying. How much have you done? In this moment of now, demand hindsight come into your foresight of this moment of now. Call upon the heart to send to the brain from here to here, the cognitive resonance of the now, the emotional resonance of the now. This is a technique that is vital in spiritual journeying, so that the body can be a part of the experience, so you can remember what happens in your dream world or your spiritual world or your journeying world. Because if not, it returns as an ephemeral moment of the now that fades from moment to moment. And we have but limited skills to record them. Built inside the body is the master system of recording. It is what is connected to the Akashic record itself. Dun dun dun. There it is. A moment of Zen truth that many of you are going to have to take a longer pause and truly think. The body is the antenna and broadcast and receiving system for the Akashic records. It's all inside you, inside your DNA. You have to be willing to unlock its secrets with the moment of the now, with the poetical voice connected to the heart with hindsight and foresight in the sacred neutral. Who are you? Ask that self in this moment of now, in internal dialogue. Who am I? Many of you might be confused. Who is Andrew? Or am I stating to you, who are you? And you are answering back my name or somebody else's name. If your immediate own name didn't come from that question, you have a hole in your aura in which you have been giving away power to something in your knowingness or unknowingness. In most cases, it's your boss at work that you have a direct portal to, because you must be some level of subservient for that your free will to still function at its limited level. Take this active moment to close that portal to your boss, or to whatever else is putting you second in the position of recognition when I ask, who am I? Who are you? For those of you that instantly knew your question, who are you at the next scale of spirit? That is foresight, using the power of current hindsight in the moment of now to intuit the highest layers of potential so our foresight can be guided through a natural spiritual agenda to create this in co-creation with our intellect, not our ego. Many people have been dealing with their egos and their intellects in completely the wrong way. The ego's purpose is to be a survival mechanism, to limit you through this unlimited journey so that you may enjoy the round experience, the flat experience, the 1 color, the 9 color, the 8 color, the 3 color experience, the mushroom on the grass that's growing, the tree over in the corner, for you to observe. Hindsight is here right now. Many of you are in this position. How do I use hindsight in a journey? When you're stuck in the moment of now and you're trudging along and all you can see is over the next edge and all you can see behind you is where you've just gone, the last few footsteps. Hindsight is every footstep to the point in which you came into the heart as the fetus in the womb. That is the power of hindsight, so that you may understand the scale of time in no time that you are working with, so that your infinite future time remains infinite future time. This is where people can begin to create their own guided meditations about youthfulness, about returning to the spirit of youth. Because hindsight allows you to target in an XY axis format who you were at another moment of time when you were fully empowered with your youthful spirit, using the pranic energy around you with the natural vortex of co-creation with the universe. You can find moments in your life where you were completely in flow and use it for whatever you desired. You are the being of now. You are the wisdom of the moment, and therefore you must do the continuous upkeep of your creation. I am scanning the audience now, past, present, and future. The few that are live now, those that are coming in live in 7 minutes, and those that will be live 12 days from now. At this moment, they are all here, each in a separate bubble of reality. I would like for you to all say in internal dialogue, hello, to all exterior concepts, a part of this presentation. Say your name and the place of space-time you are currently in. I am Andrew Bartzis at 4:16 p.m. Pacific Time in the west coast of Washington, near Mount Rainier. I have chosen to speak this word. It is my responsibility to be the owner of my bubble of reality. I declare at this sovereign moment of declaration of no time in fraud time, I am a sovereign, spiritually connected being to this world. I am a being with the common moral code of do no harm to any sentient kind. I am the being of now, past, present, and future. I am the being of generational and co-creational change. This is unity. When you have a common group of people working to the common source, not giving away their power, but declaring their power. So those who have not seen certain versions of power can declare their power in unity too. And therefore knowledge and wisdom will now no longer be held in a hierarchical format. No more hierarchy. No more lowerarchy. No more arcs. Each is their individual expression, with no comparison and contrast to any other stream of wisdom. You are the one that has to create that in yourself. You are the one that has to master the skill sets of doing it with happiness. That is the very nature of living spiritually. Living with joy moment to moment, but not living only on the joy. Because when you live on joy for too long, the world becomes hollow and weightless and pointless. The same when you're living on hope. The same when you're living on some other source other than the natural heart of yourself. This is why so many people in the spiritual journey and processes have such tremendous issues. The next level of choice. If you're really ready to spiritual journey, you will go back to the previous episodes, listen deeply to what I said, go to your place in your sacred estate, go to your place in your sacred campfire, go to your place in your sacred journey to the mountain. Create environments of energy around you. Use your own voice to create your own forms. Because if you want that highest layer of dream seeing, dream journeying, spiritual shamanism, and all of those other labels I haven't put in there, these are the fundamental skills you need to know so you are good at it. So you do not fall victim to the many nefarious entities and organizations that are astral worlds and physical worlds. We do live in a world that is light and dark simultaneously. And that is a fact that you can no longer deny. A fact you can no longer let not guide you. Because so many people don't let the facts guide them. They go on this love and light whim like a moth to the flame. Moth to the flame. You are no moth, and wisdom is not a flame. Wisdom sprouts eternal and internal. Wisdom begins with knowing the proper actions and the proper inactions. Wisdom also teaches you the action of inaction. The body will oftentimes put us in an agenda process that has many choice points along it. And it reaches a time in that set of choice points where you cannot go back, where the body is in control of a subject. Many people call that fate. What I call that is those who have given away their power to their ego, to the other versions of the self inside them, while they're off in their spiritual worlds or in their dream worlds with no recollection of what's going on here in the now. Letting the programs run you. And when you try to come back, these programs are powerful because you have given them the energy to be that powerful, to run your soul, to run your spirit during your job and all the other things that you have to do. That's the teaching of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Once again, coming back to haunt, literally, any of those that wish to spiritually journey. It is your parasympathetic that is inside you that can create the nose that itches when you're on that tip of the spiritual mystical experience, when just a scratch of the nose and it's gone. How many of you have experienced an itch on the body when you're trying to meditate and you're just about to get there and something happens? That's not always a ghost. 90% of the time, it's you, your own damn self doing it to you. It's also your own damn self that keeps you in a TV binge for 6 hours. It might be giving you a little source of happiness, but it is still a higher level of ignoring the other side of spirit. You could have meditated for an hour, martial arts for an hour, and then binge watched for 5. But you chose to binge watch for 6 and not acknowledge any of the other source. That makes that scale of choice that much higher in the denial of spirit. That is the type of power our bodies have. So for those of you that truly want the deep spiritual journey experience, work with the body. Work in the body. Work through the body. Allow the body to be a part of the experience. Begin to heal the body at its most root energy core, your sacrum. Deeply relax now. This Medi-Teaching is part of a process to both arouse, stimulate, and destimulate thousands of different personalities for each an individual purpose. I am interreacting and co-creating with every being that is going to view this at all moments in time, physical and non-physical, because I have made a choice to broadcast in the Akashic record frequency. And all other of those that are in my shared reality have my shared reality rules of a golden tube of protection so that they can name themselves from their space moment time that they are in. So we can begin to imprint unity upon this astral world we live in, layered over this dense world of life. We're going to create a spiritual blueprint in which we can impress and imprint into local bubbles of reality that are the very foundations of unity communication. Who you are, where you came from, in your moment of space-time. And if anything else does not have a moment of space-time birth, it's not real. It's not part of that unity moment. It is nothing but energy imprinted by others following its own program source. In this field right now, there are no ghosts. There are ancestral beings, but those are not ghosts. Right now, existing now, are 10 trillion spiritual courts of equity with a 100 trillion spirits interacting with not everyone that is live now, but everyone that has listened live will listen into the future. Because that is that power here in the now. You have that too. You have to be able to summon your spiritual ancestors on call when you are journeying. The ancestors are not limited to this rock, to that grove of trees, or to that computer. The ancestors are in here. And when you program the body to have instant access to the ancestors, it becomes a whole new psychic skill, because you are perceiving another layer of reality, blended and bonded to this reality, while the Akashic frequency is recording our light bodies interacting with all the different dimensions. Fundamental skill you must learn on your own. If you don't, you will find yourself in an ancestorless environment, disconnected from your space-time, with a being that might try to tell you you came from another space-time. Then what happens? You're lost into another dimension with no anchorage. And so many people have this in their life frequency, soul shards spread all throughout the multiverse. And this is called soul shard reintegration. Oftentimes when people have healings or come to experiences, they reintegrate a soul shard. Journeying, spiritual journeying, will ultimately lead into you reintegrating soul shards from tens of thousands of years of life experience. Because we have been humongous seventh density beings who have been reduced into this third density format. And for us to begin to reassemble the self, we must learn the fundamentals of spiritual journey so we can go and meet other versions of ourselves who may know about us or may not know about us. And we must be grounded in the version of space-time that we were born in, so that when we meet other versions of us, we come in a form of sacred neutrality. We come in a form of connected time in the frequency of Earth. So another being that is us has our expression. And if it matches their understanding, they will integrate in a normal healing process. If you go and meet another version of yourself who does not have the same frequency of time as you, then you have a conundrum. A conundrum that every single person that will be out spiritual journeying will encounter. No ifs, ands, or buts. You will meet yourself that will come from another point in space-time. And what will you do to earn your own trust? What would you do if some other being was in front of you in the now? Have you even ever contemplated that? Those are the types of agendas you must give yourself, impress into yourself, transfer into recordings in your own voice so that it can be broadcasted to you when you are in a meditative state. So your own voice begins to deprogram and empower and reprogram and iterate and reiterate all versions of your boundaries. You are that powerful, and you have that responsibility as part of your continuous upkeep. I get asked so many times when I say continuous upkeep, how much do you have to do? It can be in one smile. It's how much energy you put behind what you're doing. How much gusto, confidence, and empowerment can be in those 19 words that you say each morning, or don't say each morning. The great river of life force is manifested through our prayers and intentions. You can be a tiny little stream, or you can be the great and rampaging Mississippi or Amazon River. It is your choice to flow with that high level of energy, that high level of frequency. Many are wondering, why have I chosen this format? This is different from the others. Because we are separating out the weak from the chaff to the powerful. Because the next broadcast is going to be the highest layers of info. If you really, really, really want it, you're going to listen to what I'm saying in these 3 broadcasts, this one and the 2 before, and go and actually do some of it. How many have actually recorded their own voice and done this own meditation? 8 of you? 16 of you, 32 of you, of the total potential of every listener? I want it to be all of you, so that the next layer of shared reality gives you access to the Akashic records, just like I do. Gives you the power of discernment from the sacred neutral perspective, with all the context inside here, never needing to digest the context because you live the context. We live in a world that's two worlds now, asleep and awake. Part of the asleep world lives in the awake world. Part of the awake world lives in the sleep world. That's the juxtaposition many souls have. They do far more in their spiritual world when they're asleep and barely are at their slave job when they're there. Or all of themselves is at their slave job and they have no spirit world at all, or dream world. Those are the extremities. Those that have had the balanced in between, you have the greatest experience. And those at the levels of extremities would cut off their right arm to have dreams like you. So for those of you in the center, honor yourself at this moment and know that there's a great level of competition and desire for others to be exactly where you are, instead of stuck in the fullest layers of extremes. This is where you, in your moment of now, can say to anyone that else is living, that is listening in this Akashic perspective with the declared frequency of time, I am here to assist through spiritual cord of equity, through my ancestral connections of knowledge and wisdom to every moment of sun I have ever seen in every single lifetime, through every soul code I have ever learned, through every birth. I share it in this no-time moment of now as a part of a matrix connection of full, unlimited, seamless flow of info. The whole system has changed. How has it changed? That's a different layer of sight. We have changed potential when 10 of you, or 2 of you, or just 1 of you have done that. We can create telepathic networks that do exactly that, that connect thousands or millions of people to send out a pulse of full energy, designated and guided to a specific chakra point on Earth if we wanted to, where weeks before we have gone and spiritually sojourned to and prepared the land for its physical moment in manifest time, where another Akashic broadcast will guide tens of thousands or millions of others to go and assist those that are spiritually journeying. That's the power that we have in ourselves. You must be responsible if you want to go to this next level. If you are not going to be responsible and still allow the recreational asshole that's in everyone to come out and change a sacred moment into a non-sacred moment, then stop spiritual journeying and go on to something else like ESP, something else like aerokinesis, something else, because you will not survive in the dream world without that knowledge, without that ability to say, I am making it sacred from beginning to end. Harsh truth. We live in a dirty underwear energy reality, something those of listening have heard me say many times. You can no longer allow it to function in your life. Okay? Spiritual journeying. Many, many, many people need to have their eyes covered to truly get into a deep spiritual state. Whether it's an eye mask or a sheet over your eye, you have to ask yourself deeply, why does it require my eyes to be covered? And begin to break down that process. Heal the eyes, the orbits, and the nasal passage from being clogged whenever you want to have spiritual experiences. Taking the time to do those healings to the nasal passage and the eyes will make you not a blind person when you're spiritually journeying, or an inability to smell the roses in an alternate dimension, or another being that only communicates through scent is trying to communicate to you. It's an unlimited world out there, and you cannot go with clogged emissions points and entrance points, with perception deception filters that will take you to the most negative experiences. Deeply relax now. Allow what I've said to flow into the past, with hindsight still firmly looking at the words, so the next word can be created. I am a being who is making a choice to spiritually journey. I now make this moment sacred with my hindsight. I now make this moment sacred with my foresight. I now make my heart sacred with all versions of sight. I summon my angelic guardians, my spiritual guardians, and ancestral beings of positive energy into this current version of the self. I ask that you empower every aspect of my aura so you may reveal other holes in my auras and portals that allow energy exchange to all other versions of myself, because I am now giving the message, all portals are being closed when I make sacred moments. Until eventually there are no portals in your aura at all, other than when they are seamlessly needed to be created the moment to exchange energy and then return. There's never a bubble floating around in your aura. It's instantly created and removed. That's the next layer of change that you will need to have to be a truly fluid spiritual journeying. When you are telepathically communicating to a being, even though it may have a visual representation of voice, it's still psychic communication and exchange of energy through a point in your aura. Empower that aura. Create your own guided meditations while you are in the sun, fully the sun blazing down on you, your own voice telling you, and take in the sun. Bring it into your mind. Illuminate the left brain. Illuminate the right brain. Illuminate everything with the sun. You are one with the sun. And when your own voice does that and empowers you, you can bring that power of the sun directly into a moment where you may have some form of discerning energy that is telling you something's negative out there. And when you bring in the power of the sun, everything will be illuminated. Whatever's in the negative will become the negative shadow. And you will immediately see it, taking your discerning layers to the next level. Learn the process of creating thousands of skills through your own guided meditations of creation so that they become natural skills on the other side when you are journeying or dream seeing or any other form of spiritual expression. That's what the now being does for everyone. That's your power. Don't give it away anymore. Just don't. Preachy, huh? Some people yes, some people no. I am trying to trigger people intentionally. I'm not trying to push them away. Trigger them to look at the areas where they don't really want to look. I have been asked over and over and over again, how do you do the Akashic records? How do you do the spiritual journey? Here it is laid out. Here it is in 3 episodes. All the next that comes there are for those that really want to make it work at the highest levels. So for the rest of you, make the choice. If you don't, go on to listening to something else. I don't want people to be dangerous weapons when they should be beautiful tools of healing. That's one of my fears, that information can be used in the wrong way. That's what would break my heart. So I do this for everyone, and I've looked and looked and looked for a way that it can't be weaponized. That's why its expression is this way. Because there's so many shared reality rules out there we barely know about that can entangle us once again with the system. Last week, a Mormon knocked at my door. Was I angry at the Mormon? Other from that brief moment where I told them last time not to come back, but they chose to come back at that next moment. So from that moment forward, there's now a sign in my door. It says, "No one ring the doorbell, 2 to 4. You are here in the now. I am here in the now. We are multidimensional, multifunctional, photonic beings of light who have been given rules to limit us. Harsh fact. I want to help you take those rules and disintegrate them. And once they are disintegrated, you can reintegrate the natural cyclical form of life patterns that uses ritual and sacred ceremony to set yourself straight each morning, to connect to the energies that are around you that are broadcast from the planet itself. Your spiritual junction that gives you a shared reality format in an astral world given physical form. I believe so much in this world. There is much more that I'd want to say, but we're reaching the separation of densities. For all you that think tomorrow love and light is going to conquer whatever is on this world, not going to happen. It's not happening today, it's not happening tomorrow, and it's not happening next week. Until you see the same scale and size of the people out in the 1960s and the 1970s, there is no awakening, there is no ascension, there is no change. It will all continue day to day to day until there are enough people out there doing that. And it will not be the light workers who put the people in the streets. It will not be the healers that put the people into the streets. It will not be the pontificating philosophers and channelers of spirit that put them in the street. It will be the system themselves that puts the people revolting in the street. Put that into your mind equation. If you are a light worker, you are not a political activist. You are working with the light to change the density of this world. If you don't want the label of light worker and all the messed up expressions that it has, break all contracts, vows with agreements with the projection of it and make your new definition. You have that right. You have that right. You have every right in the world to continue your ascension process while nothing is happening for the rest of the world. That is another thing many people on the spiritual path experience. They just want to get the fuck off this place. Guess what? You ain't going to get off until everyone else is ready to close the machine down. Until that time, work on your spiritual journeying so you can learn to get off and use the natural skin suit so you can exist in both places and manifest in both places. Suck it up, Buttercup. Live in the world and learn how to live in both worlds. Harsh? No. We have reached the moment in space, time, we must manifest on both sides. It means the top of the journey is asking those to truly train as if you were going to your own spiritual Olympics to get the gold medal of the self, to graduate from whatever perspective you're at. So the next one is your even stronger perspective. And the next journey, and the next journey, and the next journey. I have journeyed so far that the ended time. And when a new time was began, I looked back with ancient hindsight. And I saw what the galactic historian perspective was. And it gave me great solace and joy to be incarnated in the now, to do this for everyone. Now I want everyone to do it for everyone else. So the next several broadcasts, if you're not ready to take the spiritual journeying on, don't listen. Go on to something else. This will be for those members that want that layer, that are willing to go through that process, willing to give it your own discipline, your own ceremony, how to create your own ceremonial fires that are stronger than one candle, to make your impact into this world while the rest of the world is waiting to see if it's going to get out there and march and change the system. That's the individual journey compared to the whole race journey. Okay? That's the human race. And then there are other race journeys that will begin to intersperse with ours. The dolphins, the whales, the elephants, the horses, and etc. They too are a part of the awakening experience. And when they're not out in the same mass revolting, when they're not out there communicating and luminescing as bio-beings changing the system, nothing's happening. Get out of the expectation that something's happening. Get out of reading the blogger post that's going to tell you tomorrow the world's going to end, and then 2 months later there's another one that tells you it's going to end. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Only you can create your internal change in your internal realm with your internal oracle of the self that knows the perfect place, the perfect position for you to be in so you can make informed choices about yourself, your progression in life, your progression into abundance and wealth, or your progression into lack, shame, blame, guilt, and vengeance, the complete opposites of what I've just described. Because we live in a world of opposites. And when we go on a spiritual journey expecting a world of opposites, this is where our perception deception filters haunt our ass. Take that in and truly think about that. Because I'm about to put the biggest challenge ever, the Akashic Records. Fundamental process of how to do it. Make your choice. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this broadcast. When you go back and listen to the other ones, you will see this different perspective, different purpose, different energy behind it for that next purpose. So next week, April the 4th, I will have another meditation teaching broadcast where I will be asking people to go into a deep form of relaxation, and we'll be taking a meditation journey to the moon and then to the sun. And at the end, I'm going to ask for questions. And there will be some of you who will be in the chat room that aren't doing the meditation. Your questions will be ignored. Yes, if you're chatting while there's a meditation, your questions are going to be ignored. Why? Because I'm asking the question on the other side. Who has made it to that journey? And I will know by what's manifested in that chat room if you've made it to the other side. April the 4th, journey to the moon, journey to the sun, and a challenge. Who can hear that message on the other side? Thanks a lot, everyone. I look forward to this continuing time of empowering all of you with these various levels of Akashic broadcasts.